So is the compromise nothing more than just a new contract where you extend him, you give him a ton more money, and you move forward? Packers president Mark Murphy writes a letter at the team website every month to fan base and, quite frankly, to part of the ownership, and says, quote, in this letter, quote, "The situation we face with Aaron Rodgers has divided our fan base. The emails and letters that I've received reflect this fact. As I wrote here last month, we remain committed to resolving things with Aaron, and I want him to be our quarterback in 2021 and beyond. We are working to resolve the situation and realize that the less both sides say publicly, the better."
Was that in a letter he wrote? Because he said the same thing about dividing the fan base in like a mailbag thing that he does at their site, and it was unsolicited. It wasn't really in response.
Well, they post this at their website.
Okay, because it wasn't really in response to what he was answering. He kind of flew on a tangent and offered it unsolicited.
It's a monthly column that he writes.
Yes. It wasn't solicited it looked like it was answering fans' questions. And this was not a question that he was asked. He just went there.
You know, I'm going through and trying to decipher what Aaron Rodgers said and what, more importantly, what he didn't say in the Kenny Mayne interview, which is the last time we've heard from him. I'm doing the same thing in this response from Murphy, where he says, as I wrote here last month, we remain committed to resolving things with Aaron. We want him to be our quarterback in 2021 and beyond. So is the compromise nothing more than just a new contract where you extend him, you give him a ton more money, and you move forward?
And that's not a Gutekunst firing. That's a Jordan Love admission of mistake. And
yeah,
you deal Jordan Love.
In doing that, though, then you've just drafted Isaiah Wilson, who's never going to contribute to your franchise.
Worse than that. Worse than that.
Because you traded up to draft a guy in the first round.
You traded up to draft your future franchise quarterback.
Who's never going to play for you.
And then he never took a snap.
Because you're not taking his fifth-year option.
That's better than not having Aaron Rodgers.
You should deal Love right now for whatever you could get. Or not right now, but immediately after the season. But you can't even deal him immediately after the season because somebody would have to exercise his third-year option. So right now, what are you going to get from him? You're going to get a sixth for somebody to dip their toe in the water on him.
Right, and that's why
it's a wasted pick. It's not as bad as Isaiah Wilson in that the guy wants to play football. It's not his fault. He's not doing anything bad.
Yeah, well, Chad, to your point, it's not as bad because it
was a dumb pick, but the guy is interested in football.
No, trust me, it's not Isaiah. You know, the guy's not trying to start a rap career that we know of right now, so that's better. I'm just really torn with all this because I'm with you, Paul. I don't want the NFL to become the NBA.
Yeah.
With players completely running the league. But if you're Aaron Rodgers, you might be smarter than your front office. I mean, there is some validity to the fact that they made a really dumb decision. We can all sit there and say that now. And if you are, I've talked about this with the Tennessee Vols fan base and people making decisions. Tennessee fans sat around for years saying, I wouldn't do something this dumb. But yet the people that are making decisions are punishing our own program, time and time again. So there does need to be some recourse if you're Aaron Rodgers saying, I probably know more about this team and personnel than you. And if you're going to put us behind the 8 ball and make it more difficult for me and for my teammates to win a Super Bowl, I'm going to do something about it. I'm not just going to sit back and say, oh, well, you know, that's Brian. That's Brian making his decision on that. I mean, I do think there has to be some level of balance with a player of his caliber. We're not talking about a whole league revolt here. How many players could pull this? Deshaun Watson, before all the allegations.
A handful.
Russell Wilson.
The quarterbacks. Right.
But if one of those
not just all the quarterbacks.
Right.
We're talking 7 or 8
But if
quarterbacks.
one of those 7 or 8 gets it, then it becomes 10 or 12. Then it starts
more than 7 or 8 though.
I'm going to pull a line from you though, Paul, that you use a lot. Then don't be dumb.
Well, it's more than
then
7 or 8.
Don't screw up.
It's more than 7 or 8 quarterbacks though, because even if you're not in the elite status to make decisions, right, to be in the know on what you need, you still have the investment of the franchise behind you. So it's not like there are 20 quarterbacks who have the full investment of their franchise right now behind them, that everything's riding on them staying healthy, upright, and yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Without having taken a snap. Here's the other thing. I think
But if Trevor Lawrence came back and said, a year into the league or not even playing a game and was saying, I know more than Urban Meyer and people making decisions on personnel than them. I'm pissed off. I'm sitting out this year. We would all rightfully say, you're an idiot.
He would get crushed.
Go play.
Yeah. Right.
When it's Aaron Rodgers saying this, who's worked under a different GM, who's been with the organization that long, there is some credence
and has the
to
resume.
him coming in and saying, I wouldn't be saying this about anyone. I don't want this to get out of hand because, Paul, I'll be sitting right there with you if Ryan Tannehill did this. I would come back and say, Ryan Tannehill's been great. I can find a guy that can be efficient with a play-action offense with Derrick Henry. See ya. If I'm John Robinson and Ryan Tannehill try to play a power play like this. This is Aaron Rodgers, who I believe may be smarter than the GM.
If I'm not mistaken.
And if you're seeing a guy dumber than you make bad decisions, and you're Aaron Rodgers, who's way more responsible for any success the Packers have had since he's been drafted than this guy, I can see him being a little pissed off and wanting to play a power play.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every time Outkick 360 goes live. We are live weekdays, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, right here across the Outkick network. And while you're at it, like this video and let us know what you think in the comments below.